going, everybody? Welcome to Tweet Street, Season 2, Episode 3. In this episode I'll be chatting it's the time I start a massive, massive clean-up, a big clean-up of the bird room. So we're starting that. And obviously you find things when you're doing that. So, oh my God, might or might it not be? And that's what we're going to chat about, amongst other things. We do have some a scan of the birds that we are retaining. So we've got that coming up as well. Now, another week goes past, and of course, the weather, our ever-changing weather. The first is a little snap of a little video I took of the garden fence. We'd just had a frost, and then the sun comes up and heats the fence up, and you get this lovely display of kind of steam coming off, which is really nice. But since then we've had a storm, this is what it is as I'm talking to you now. I've just videoed this out the window a few minutes ago. Today is Sunday, and it's blowing a proper hoolie out there. It ain't pleasant. The birds are inside. We've had DEFRA of getting a bit excited now about keeping all birds in across England, etc. I haven't looked into it for definite or whatever they said. I've just had it on the news as I was coming upstairs. I mean, my birds are inside anyway. They're not outside because of the inclement weather. So that's fine. They've been in for a couple of months now, and now she'll stay in until I feel it's safe to do so. So I'll try and have a look at that ready maybe for next week and see what they're shouting about. Okie dokie. So I managed to get out in the week a little bit for walking the dog, and went to my little local patch, and it's quite high up, and there's a little valley in front of it, and it's a small one. So you're eye level with the birds, and this red kite had came down and picked something up off the floor, and it's just landing on the post with it. It was eating it in mid-flight as well. I've got one or two photos, but they're not brilliant. Well, these aren't brilliant either because it was a very drab day. It wasn't pleasant. And then he just sat there, just chilling out for a little while. Something pleasant to see. But in the aviary, during the clean-up, I'd set the camera up on this little fella. This is a Fife Canary male number 2. I fondly know him as. And he was singing his head off, so I got a little video, and I thought, I'll put the camera in there, and I thought we'll get him singing. No, he decided not to. And then I put a camera at the back on a little tripod inside the cage for a little while, for an hour or so, so he got used to it. He sat on the camera for a good 30 minutes. Luckily he didn't poop on it. And then he started singing away. He's been a cracking little singer. He can just see out the window and everything going on in the garden, as you can see. Normally that door's open and there's a mesh door in between. But when it's really blowing and really, really cold, it's been minus temperatures, I'll keep it shut. So he's been singing his head off. I do really like to hear him sing, and that's really nice. There's a few of them singing away. It's a good sign. So what I did after that, as you can see from this little clip, 16 birds were rehomed, leaving only 3 spare birds. I've got a pair for a gentleman who watches the show. He's coming to pick up a pair I've put aside. Really, really nice pair of birds, and I've put them aside for him. So I've took those birds out, all of the birds out in that end. It's like an L shape, my setup, and at the bottom of the L shape, where I've now got quite a bit of empty space, I wanted to start my deep clean, which I do once a year. So elk and the birds, obviously put them in smaller cages temporarily. All the stuff was taken out, all the food, the water, the perches, all the cages are stripped down, and out they go. So some stuff comes into the house to be cleaned, and the rest, as you can just see, the cages there are now empty, and that whole top row is like a flight. I've got a little connector in the middle, and that was taken out. Here's a photo of just the 2 left, and you can see where the hole is in the wall where they would go outside into the aviary should I wish. and you can see there's a green board there to stop them doing so. So then there was 2, so that's another flight in the middle. Now I wanted to alter this. They didn't really use that one in the middle when they're flying outside. They don't like coming in that hole back in, so I'm going to board that over. So that's the cunning plan. As you can see, that's now removed. You can see it's a bit messy on that side. I've got some more photos of that in a minute. And then down the bottom we've got 2 double breeders. The one on the bottom right had the quailing, and the one on the left was feathers, and you can see that's now gone. And then there's a quick video of the state of play afterwards, and it is proper messy. In that top left corner you're looking at was where I had some mite, and that's the only place I've had mite, which I'm kind of happy with. I'm not happy I've got mite at all, but we'll go into that in a minute. So it left a very messy wall, which is where the birds perch on the edge of the going out towards the aviary, or pointing in towards the cages. They crap, and that comes down the end there, which I can't get to unless the cages are not there. So all you're looking at there is crap and feathers, and that was cleaned up. Like I say, in that other corner is a bit of a close-up. Now this, my bird room is 4 metres by 2 metres by 2 metres high, just over. So as you can appreciate, that is the only area I've found any mite, and that's the amount I've seen. And I'll tell you in a moment how what was in last year. If you didn't watch last year, I'll show you quickly how I set up to avoid getting those coming in. So here I've just boarded up that lower exit to the aviary outside, because I was going to turn them cages now into another 2 double breeders. So I've cleaned it all up, as you can see from this photo. I've just put rolled a bit of paint over the board, so it just makes it look a bit cleaner. On the bottom I've got like a formica that sticks down, so that wipes clean. Any liquid just sits on there and it wipes clean, so if anything messes on it, it's easy to wipe clean. Going to replace some of that, and I'll show you some better photos shortly. So then we've got outside. Now let me be a bit of paper. I had to write, this is a big word, I had to write it down. Let me hang that up. Now as you'll see, Mr. Trendy, I had a day when it weren't too blowy and it wasn't raining, so this is the cages coming out, and you can see they're quite flimsy really when you bring them out like this. They are plastic with the metal at the bottom on the floor. But yes, the fashion sense is top notch. So if anybody here works at Primark's and they want an influencer, please let me know. For those that are not in the country, Primark is a shop that we would say is at the budget end of the fashion market. Okay, and so there's me. I'm bringing all the stuff out. I'm just fast forwarding some of this. So they've got the flight on the floor, a couple of cages propped up, ready. And then I've got this other one, which was a flight, and I wanted to take the end off. I've still got some spare panels. It's a bit fiddly. You get the hang of doing it, and it decided it wants to collapse itself. And then I'll start putting the sides back on to make 2 double breeders again. That makes it a lot easier for me inside now, to how I want to run the birds through their breeding. So now I've got the jet washer working, giving it a proper good clean. This gets in, I mean, if that jet washer goes over your hand, you really feel it, it hurts. So it's really good at cleaning muck off stuff. It's cold water, and which is useful in a moment, and I'll show you why at the end. So this is getting all the rubbish and feather and crap and everything off, all the plastic, because it's plastic with the metal wire around. So it's nice and easy to clean, and it's good that you can take them out. I know some of you guys have got wooden containers for the birds. Obviously you can't maybe take them out as easy as this, I don't know. I suppose you have to just rub down and paint. Crikey, those days are gone for me. Fortunately, this is the way I wanted to do it. Now, it was a bit blowy, and as you'll see in a second, bang, there you go. There's the camera blown off the tripod and onto the floor. Bugger. So then, once they're washed, all the cages, it takes a little while to do. because this is the one big thorough clean, deep clean wash I like to do once a year, and I'm sure most of yourselves do the same. This is the time of year to do it, just before they're going to go down to breeding. So I used last year, and I think it worked, was Vaseline. Now you can see from this photo that I've smeared the Vaseline over around where everything clips together. All them little clips, all the little holes, I've got Vaseline smeared around it. Now the good thing with it is I've jet washed that outside and it's got rid of all the muck, but it doesn't get rid of the Vaseline. That would have to be boiling water to get rid of. So that stays in situ, and that's like, that ain't moving. No mite is going to get over that. It's like quicksand for it. It's going to get to it and it's going to stay in it. It's going to stick in it, and it's a goner. And that's what I've used for all the backs of the cages, all the sides of the cages, all around the wire, everywhere that might like. I make it. I don't want it hospitable for them. I want them to bugger off. They can go somewhere else. So these other places that I sometimes got them before was on the. This is a perch that I use inside the cages. Underneath the perch, they used to love it. Now that little bit of black you're seeing is just a bit of muck. It's not any mite. So in that little gap there, I would fill that with Vaseline. Okay. On the end of it, this is the pin that goes into the back of the cage. Again, the mite would love that. That gets a Vaseline rubbed round and a blobber on that. They don't come on that. And this is the bit that comes onto the wire cage at the front of the cage. Again, blob of Vaseline, and that goes on. And that's it. And now you can see all the cages back together. You can see now the bottom two rows I've got. We've got there 4 double breeders now, as opposed to one of them being a flight as it was before, and the top one is just going to be a flight. I do have the dividers to put between if I wish, and so that's how you can see it's lovely and clean. Excuse me. At the end you can see there's just a one portal out, should I wish, and in the summer I'm hoping that we can let our birds out, of course, to go outside, and that looks a lot neater and a lot cleaner. Now looking down at the tabletop that they're on, I had this sticky formica stuff. Now some of it is peeling back, as you can see. So when I brought it last time, bear in mind these are, what's it, 4.5 years ago, 4 years ago, 5. I brought a small strip. It was about 200mm wide and about 2 meters long. Not long enough and not wide enough. It was just really so I could just tuck it under the front of the cages where the mess was coming out. So I've actually sent off for some 3 meter length of this stuff, 600mm wide, which is as wide as the table it's going to go on. So I shall clean the others when that comes, and then the cages I've just put in, I can quickly take them out and I can run this over, take the old stuff off, put the new stuff on. It just makes it a lot easier to clean. You can see where it's just peeling up. And that will make it a lot easier for me to clean. Now there's a pair of birdies I've just left out at the moment for somebody coming round. He'll be happy now seeing his new birdies, hopefully. And then we've got a clean set of cages at the bottom. Some of them haven't got the stuff in on the bottom there yet, the wood chip. I've got to go and get some more. I've not put it in yet. So you've got a couple of pairs that will be breeding this year. I'll just put them in together at the moment. They will be parted and split shortly. And at the top here we've just got the couple of weavers, Napoleon weavers, and 3 spare birds. Now if anybody does want a pair of lizard canaries, I've just got the 1 pair in there and a spare cock bird I need to keep. Just give us a nod, there's just the 1 pair left. And that's how we've got the birdies at the moment in there. Along the top we've got some the fifes, and they're all singing their heads off. The cockbirds are singing their heads off really nicely. It's a good time. I like this time of the year. You just have to stop for a quick drink. Right, the rest of the birds. So this is the second pair of fifes. There's the cockbird. That's the one I was videoing trying to sing. He was taking a mick of me. And there's his young lady. I believe that's the daughter of the one above. Just got to keep an eye on them. They look quite good. This is one of my hen lizards underneath, and this is the cockbird that's going to be going with her. Excuse the focusing, it doesn't like to focus through the bars of the cage very well. This is another hen bird, 2023 bird. Just a nice young. That's another hen. Undecided about the male bird. It could well be Ray's bird going over those two. They're nice birds. This was one of the daughters of Mariah from last year, who didn't do much, if you remember, unfortunately. I'm hoping this year, I think this year I might well keep her with the cockbird that you're going to see in a moment. She doesn't feed as, she feeds okay, she eats and she's looking quite good, but she doesn't clear all the food up, and I'm thinking, is she going to eat enough to raise chicks? I don't know. So the cockbird might stay with her because I think he might help do that. This is Mariah Carey bird, trying to get her in focus. She'll demand focus, of course. She's a diva, and there she is. And she's looking in really, really good condition, and I'm really happy with that. Obviously, this is the bird I've got off of Ray Anthony, the cockbird. Now this is a slightly fast forwarded video. It's not supercharged. And this is another pair. This is a pair from myself and Bob Snedden. That's the cockbird, and that's the female you just saw, the clear cup silver. Then we've got Mr. Higgins' bird, cockbird, looking very well. And Mrs. Higgins also looking. Now she eats well. Mrs. Higgins, she don't mess with her food. She'll be a good one. And this is my best one that I done really well with, and Mr. Higgins will be popping in to say hello to her as well. I'm really looking forward to those pairings. This is my standby gentleman for her. If it doesn't go well, it's her uncle. We'll have to see what he might just end up as a spare, unfortunately. And now you're looking at some bald fella in a bird room. I just really done a bit of a clip of the Fife's eye view of what happens in the bird room. He was in there. Remember, I put the camera in there waiting for him to start singing. But this is obviously what they see. This is me just replacing the water and putting some of the different foods in. They're quite a lot. I'm liking the Fifes. They're quite inquisitive. I mean, all the Canaries seem to be inquisitive, but there's a little bit of something different between the Fife and the Lizard for sure. They seem to be quite, not tame, but they're not as skitty as some of them. Yeah, they're quite nice. Okay, everybody. Remember that the Grantham Cage Bird Society have got a do on the 13th of February this year. Rob Brown's doing a talk on soft bills that starts at 7:30 in the evening. That's at the Railway Social Club, Hunting Tower Road in Grantham. If you need any information, Brian is the club secretary. Please give him a ring. And that's roughly where it is on the map. So pop yourself down if you can. It's open to non-members and members. Obviously it's open to the members. So there's no need to join. Have a little look round. And it will be great for the club and great for yourself, because you'll be able to know a little bit more about soft bills when you come out. So please pop along. Well, thank you everybody for watching another episode of Tweet Street and sharing your time with me. So if you'd like to comment, please do so. If you've liked what you've seen, please click a like so I get an idea of where we are. If you'd like to share what you've seen with others, please do so. Spreading the love of the hobby, that's brilliant. If you could subscribe, you'll get to know when future content's coming out. And if you'd like to take it further and buy me a coffee, basically that's offering a small donation towards the running cost of the channel, you'd be very welcome. So thank you all, everybody. Hope you're well, hope your birds are well, and we'll see you all very soon. Bye bye for now.